Hey everyone, it's you'll fall asleep whilst watching this 1000 with a new installment of my weekly spins revolutions. I hope everyone is productively engaged in meaningful things. I have been super busy with work, and so I don't have much time, but I'm going to squeeze half an hour of blah blah and more blah blah about records, some uneducated, verbose nonsense. But yeah, my kids have got their final exams, my students have got their final exams soon, so we're just really busy with that. But without further ado, because you're not here to hear me talk about nothing, I will talk about some records that I've been playing. And I'll start with 3 or 4 dub records. At the moment, I don't know why, I'm just really taken by dub, and I feel like listening to lots of it. So I've been playing Scientist, heavyweight dub champion. Maybe one of the better examples of dub, how it should be done, by obviously one of the greatest producers. Scientist is one of 3 or 4 just really key, with Lee Scratch Perry and, King Tubby, Augustus Pablo, and these kinds of people. They just made, timeless music. This, to me, dub is really essentially avant-garde electronic music made by Jamaicans by accident. The first time it was just an accident. This is on green sleeve from 1980. And if you want to get into Scientist, there would be a worse place to start. It's a beautiful record. It's really spacey and cosmic. Really, really love this. And I think one of the absolute classics of the genre of dub is Super 8, and which I was playing as well, revisiting. Record that I remember buying when I met Mike and Tony in New York, I think 2016, at Good Records. Really like Dynamite's Lee Perry in the Upsetters, Super Ape. I mean, everything from the cover to Croaking Lizard, Underground, Dreadline, Super Ape, just killer jams. Really, again, this sort of reverb drenched sounds. It's unique. It's completely, and obviously Lee Perry, who departed this world fairly recently. Probably his best records, one of his best records. Here is some British dub. This is African Head Charge, off the beaten track, on New Sounds, which is the label spearheaded by Adrian Sherwood. This is, I think, the 3rd African Head Charge record, the 3rd or the 4th or something. It's from 1980, I think 80 maybe, or 81. Just really, really amazing, with a sort of a post-punk attitude more than just like pure dub. And there's a great track on this, which is called Language and Mentality, which has got a sample of, I believe, Albert Einstein talking about language, how language evolves, all set to amazing, dubby reggae. That's killer. I highly recommend the first 2, 3, 4 records by African Head Charge. My Life in the Hole in the Ground, I think. Environmental Studies, Drastic Season. This one is great too. And yet another dub record, and this one is again a British example of dub. It's the Live Tones, for a reason, and the Live Tones is a side project of This Heat. So it's Charles Bullen, I think. Yeah, Charles Bullen. So this heat, this is. So you've this heat were one of these key experimental post-punk bands from England, led by Charles Haywood and Charles Bullen. And this record is an offshoot. Charles Bullen and what's the other guy called? J. Samuel. Yes. So Julius Cornelius Samuel on drums and percussion, and Charles Bullen on voice guitar, keyboard. Really superb. Again, cosmic, dubby sounds. No less worthwhile than like a Jamaican example. I think you can still pick this reissue up quite easily. Very highly recommended. I can't really talk about dub that much because I don't know much about it. Like I don't think I'm that good at expressing. But anyway, I'm here to show you some records, and you can look them up yourself. A while back, I think it was Halloween, Alex Martinez and Dom from Seeking a Thread did this joint live stream. Alex, your name escapes me right now. I don't know why, but you recognize yourself if you watch this. They did this joint live stream, and Dom played this record here, Daniel Hecht on which the album's called Guitar. It's an American primitivism guitar album. As you can see, this is a reissue because just finding an original of this would be insane. When he played this on the stream, it was very beautiful, delicate music. If you're a fan of John Fahey or Robbie Basho or Sandy Bull, and that's your thing, you like intricate finger-picking guitar, which has an avant-garde leaning, a very strong avant-garde leaning. It's also ambient and meditative. If you like that kind of music, this is great. And when Dom played it on the stream, it was really just a lovely piece of music. And I went to one of my favorite shops in Melbourne on their website, and they happened to have a copy of the reissue because the reissue came out in 2020. And it was very cheap, very fairly priced, so I bought a copy on the strength of that. And I've been loving it since. So thank you, Dom, for showing this. And I highly recommend this reissue. It sounds great. I never find an original of this, really, and I don't really need to or want to. It's perfect for what it is. And I'll stay with ambient guitar music whilst I'm here. So I also played this delicate, beautiful ambient dream pop record by the Durruti Cullen. It's called Without Mercy. It's from 1984 on Factory Records. It's a kind of a dream pop, post-punk with new agey and ambient sensibility. Just beautiful, like extended. I think it was originally an 18-minute piece that's been just like worked off and extended with viola. So there's obviously Vinnie Riley on guitar, and then I think you've got Blaine Renninger on viola, and John Metcalf plays. What does he play? I can't remember. There's like 3 or 4 people. There's a bit of sax as well. There's some oboe. It's a very full sound. Not just Vinnie Riley. I really, really highly recommend this record. It's absolutely sensational. It's delicate again, and it's great for early morning or late in the afternoon. It's just lovely music. And since I am in ambient music and ambient pop, I revisited Another Pond by Not Drowning Waving. This is a Melbourne group from the early 80s, fronted by Dave Bridie, who is a local legend, who on this plays piano, obviously, keyboards, and writes the lyrics. And again, that's the kind of sound. You got this, you get piano, guitar, double bass, It's very ambient, chamber music meets indie pop. And this is one of the classics of Melbourne, that Melbourne early 80s sound, this fusion of post-punk, ambient music. Very, very highly recommend this record. And it's called, Another Pond, yes, from 1984 as well. 2 albums from 84. 2 very similar albums from 1984, may I say. Oh, with almost the same cover. There you go. There was something in the air. Here's an electronic album that I really love, and I don't play it often enough, but it's a sublime piece of repetitive electronic, Nomos by Craig Leon. Craig Leon is, I think, maybe better known for being a producer. I think he produced the first couple of Suicide records. This is minimal synth, minimal wave, like what you call minimal wave. Great records, which you can find as a reissue, as I have on Superior Viaduct. I remember buying this many years ago. When was this reissued? Yes, quite a few years ago. I don't know, but I remember being with my good pal Campo. If you watch this video, we went to I don't know where, Rand Records maybe, and I think he said, "Oh, have you got this? Do you dig this?" And I bought it on the spot. Craig Leon Nomos, excellent record, minimal wave. Here is the 1971 segment of today's episode, and today I revisited a classic of my early VC days. I've been on this platform for, I don't like to say VC anymore because it doesn't mean anything, but at the time when it meant something, I used to make a series called Obscure Classics, and this is one of the records that I talked about then, maybe 10, 11 years ago maybe. Eugene McDaniels with Headless Heroes of the Apocalypse, an absolute classic of psychedelic soul, with Harry Whittaker on piano, Miroslav Vitus on bass, Alphonse Mouzon on drums, amongst other people, and obviously the soulful vocals of Eugene McDaniels, with The Lord Is Back, Jagged the Dagger, Headless Heroes, Freedom Death Dance. Absolute classic of 1971. Everybody should own this record, I think. It's beautiful. And I'll follow it with the Sarah segment of this video. There's always a Sarah segment, and today I've chosen to this week I played Ill Communication, and Sarah was she loved the Beastie Boys. She saw them in concert. This album, I think, was one of maybe a favorite Beastie Boys album. I think that's the one that she liked the most, with Sabotage and Sure Shot, such a great song. Sabotage, what's on this? Root Down, yeah, that's right. Root Down, Sabotage, Sabrosa, wow, what a tune. Flute Loop. And so I think there's even a Eugene McDaniels sample on this. I believe there is one. So there you go. It's a good link. Sarah, always thinking of you, So, in the music, in everything. But it's nice to, bond with every day with some musical piece. Now, a little bit of a sort of psych, neo-psych bracket that I'm going to open here. And at the moment, I don't know why, but I'm considering parting with some of my Gong records because I never play them. I've got 5, 6, 7 Gong records, including the trilogy, the Radio Gnome Invisible trilogy, which is this is the third part 3. And I've just been playing some Gong, Angel's Egg, Camembert Electric. But this album is really, really solid. It's possibly the best thing in the trilogy, this third part. This is an alternative cover on Charlie record. It's a reissue from 1980, whatever, 82, I think. And there's a song on this called the Isle of Everywhere, which is like this mind-blowing jam. But this is psychedelic and wild and typical gong, but with a more progressive tinge, I think. It was originally released in 1970. I can't remember. Who knows? I told you, I'm clueless 1000 or whatever. Right. So continuing, here's one of my all-time favorite records. Like, okay, if I was making a top 20, this would go in it easily. The Desert Songs by Mercury Red. For me, I absolutely adore this album. I know every song back to front. And one of these albums that's just printed. You've got a print of it in your head. You know what the songs sound like. I bought this in 1998 when it came out, and when you're younger, you get immersed in records way more than when you get older. You've got fewer records and you just play the shit out of them. And case in point, the band from the Catskills near New York, Mercury Red, fronted by Jonathan Donahue and Grasshopper on guitar. Every song is a hit on this for me. Holes, Endlessly, Opus 40, Goddess on the Highway. But my favorite song on this is not This Funny Bird, The Funny Bird, which is one of the most psychedelic songs I can think of. It's like super psych. And in my book, this is kind of a neo-psych record on the strength of that beautiful record. One of the best albums I can think of, really, for me, anyway. And so, as I'm in sort of a neo-psych mood there, here is another kind of obscure, interesting oddity. This is Trey Grubber, Herculean House of Cards on numeral group, as you can see. This guy, interesting, he was a Chicago musician. He was in a band called Patient, I believe, and then he did demos by himself. He has a sort of like Elliott Smith meets John Lennon kind of swagger about him when he sings. Very reminiscent of Lennon, if that's the sound of voice you like. And we have kind of power pop, dream pop, power pop, kind of wheelhouse. This poor guy died aged 26 of a heroin overdose, but he left us, a handful of songs. This is songs plus demos, and I tend to think the demos are maybe a bit better than the actual songs, but it's it's in a wheelhouse between something like the Beatles, Elliott Smith, the Beatles, maybe a bit of Wilco in there as well, thrown in. I think a lot of people would dig this. Trey Grubber. I don't know. Give it a try. You never know. It might be your thing. I just, I found it interesting enough. So I just, here is a classic neo-psych album. This is the Olivia Tremor Control, and the album is called Dusk at Cubist Castle. If you can see Cubist Castle there. It's called Dusk, not Dust, Dusk, with a K. This is a double album by one of the finest, Elephant Six bands. This is, it is on Elephant Six, which is the mythical, I think it's based in Athens, Georgia. Am I right? Elephant Six? I might be wrong. I may be wrong, but you can correct me. And they're on the same sort of wavelength as like Neutral Milk Hotel and bands of the like. This is a very, very beautiful achievement for a record. It's a neo-psych record. It's catchy as hell. It got released in the 90s, I think, 90, I'd say 96, 97. And just excellent power pop, psych pop, neo psych, if you like. If you like the Apples in stereo, and if you like Neutral Milk Hotel, you'll like this. This is beautiful. Kind of a crazy, wild, avant-garde record that I don't play that often because I tend to go more to Trap Mask Replica, but here is igma Decals of Baby. I don't think it's an album you see on the VC very often. Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band, really as experimental as they ever got, in my opinion. I think maybe a touch more experimental than Trap Mask Replica. Everybody talks about Trap Mask, but this is kind of, you sort of, it's like the Spinal Tap goes to 11, like they've just, they've cranked it to 11. The weirdness, things like the Smithsonian Institute Blues or Flash Gordon's Ape. This is fucking nuts, The Magic Band, with the usual suspects, the Mascara Snake and what the other guy, Zoot, Horn Rolo. Oh, what a bunch of wackos. I mean, what a great musician. Some jazz records. I hope you like jazz. Some people like jazz. They call jazz nerds. Here's Ronald Schneider's Natural Sources, the first album by Ronald Schneider's. He's a Dutch musician, and he made a string of really interesting, funky, jazzy, funky records. And this is the first record he made from 1977, and everything is played and composed by Ronald Schneider's. Funky flute, if you like your Jeremy Steig, I don't even know, my brain is fried, it's too late in the afternoon. Anyway, I think it will appeal to a lot of Euro jazz fans, this record. It's a corker, it's a burner of record. I really do like it. Revisiting an old French classic, Alain Marcus Feld, Le Désert Noir. Kind of a French jazz fusion with world ethno kind of Middle Eastern Oriental influences. All instrumental, really kind of super tight playing, really beautiful. The guitar playing is off the charts, and Alain Marcus Feld was I don't know if he's still alive, 1977. I like this one. Okay, there we go. Just a superb record by Alain Marcus Feld. I'm not going to say too much because you can listen to it. Here is a masterpiece from Japan. It's written by Masabumi Kikuchi. I think it's going to be one of my top 3 favorite Japanese jazz records. This is fire from start to finish. It's excellent spiritual jazz. The playing is very inspired. It's soaring. Reminds you of a Coltrane record or a sort of Ahmad Jamal record, like one of these kind of top-notch US impulse type of titles. Masabumi Kikuchi is the pianist on this. You have Teresa Mahino on trumpet. You've got Kosuke Mine on sax. Now this is a lineup of champions. So, it is on East Wind Records. So the label and the album title are the same. So easy to remember. And you know, if you find this, do not hesitate. It's a monster record, and I'm just highly recommend this. I picked up this Love Supreme. I thought, yeah, why not? One of my favorite records, really, the original one. Here you go. This, you know, the jury's still out on this. I mean, I'm still on the fence. I like what they're doing. I don't love it. The sound is not great. At times, it's a bit, you know, some instruments are very upfront and some instruments are very back because of the nature of the recording. But as a historical piece, it's interesting. Do I really, really need this? You know, if I was going to just keep some essential Coltrane, probably not. But nonetheless, it's a nice record to have, and I want to spend more time with it and explore it more. Live in Seattle with Pharoah Sanders. Interesting addition of Pharoah Sanders, who doesn't play on the original. And last is Mrs. Coltrane. And I thought, well, since I'm playing some Love Supreme, you know, why not revisit one of her early albums, Monastic Trio, which is a record from 1968. There we go. Features Jimmy Garrison on bass, Ben Riley on drums, and Pharoah Sanders on bass clarinet. And obviously Alice Coltrane is on piano on this, and also on harp on the last couple of tracks. And you also have Rashid Ali on drums appears on this. Yeah, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Alice Coltrane record, very soaring again. You know, a spiritual gem. You know, absolutely beautiful. And you know, what's not to love? Look at this. Look at a classy. Look at elegance. I mean, it doesn't get any classier than this. This is the quintessence of class. This record here. I hope you enjoy this, whatever you call it. And if you want to interact with me and just talk to me and leave me some comments and, you know, tell me that I was wrong, maybe I was right. So just interact with me. Love you all. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Until next time.